Wayne Kuhn, and it's been my pleasure and honor to be the superintendent president here at the college for the last nearly 13 years. This program today is being brought to you by our community hour program, which happens every Monday and Wednesday from 12:40 to 1:30. Lots of activities happen during those times during the week, so each week, so be sure and take a look at what's going on. As you heard, this program is being recorded. And I also want to draw your attention to the fact if closed captioning is something you're interested in, please, you'll see the connection there in the chat. Let me take the opportunity to welcome our new students. Well, first of all, let me take an opportunity to welcome everybody that's both online and at the viewing party in the Student Center. I just want to say, maybe you'll save me a piece of pizza for me, and I'll be down for that later. So special thanks and welcome to our new students who are with us, brand new students, first week of the semester. I want to thank you for choosing the College of Marin. We recognize you have options, and we're certainly glad to welcome you to our college community. And we're here to be your cheerleaders, your supporters, and we really want you to be successful. If you're a student that's returning from the summer, I want to say welcome back. Maybe you even took classes during the summer, but welcome back. We're really happy that you returned, and we're also very interested in seeing you attain your educational goals as well. So big welcome back to the students. We're going to hear more in our program here today about some of the opening week activities that we think you'll be interested in hearing more about. A special shout out to the employees, all the faculty, staffs, and administrators. It was good to see so many of you last week during Flex Week and during our convocation program. How this typically works is we have a town hall that's hosted by the president a couple times a semester, usually at the first of the semester and towards the end of the semester. And we like to provide you with some college updates, some things we think you might want to know about, and some things we think you need to know about too. And then we have a variety of reports. And then there's a period at the end where we answer questions and answers. We've provided the opportunity for people to submit questions ahead of time. And we did have 5 different questions that have been submitted that we'll answer. And there will also be an opportunity for you along the way to type your questions in if you've got questions. And then depending on the time at the end, so we don't have quite a full hour, we will answer those questions. So let's get on with some college updates. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Vice President Jonathan Eldridge, who is going to give us a bit about our enrollment. Obviously, there's lots of students on campus, and he'll tell you more about what that looks like. Jonathan, welcome.
Great, thank you. And I'm glad that everyone is having a good first week and found their way to the town hall today. So next slide, please. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some national trends, then look at some things that are happening locally, and then quickly get to the real piece, which is where is our enrollment this fall and what is it looking like? So this is probably not news to most folks, but they're nationally speaking across all sectors of higher education, undergraduate enrollment has been declining to various degrees, not linearly, but has been declining overall since 2011. So over the last decade plus. As we know, the pandemic hit enrollments hard, particularly community colleges. And since that time, enrollments nationally have stabilized, but recovery has been elusive for a lot of the sectors of higher education. We've heard lots of things about four-year institutions, particularly small private struggling, and the community college sector having uneven recoveries. And just in terms of community colleges specifically, the decade of the 2010s was particularly hard for community colleges overall nationally, where the enrollment fell by a quarter. Some of that has to do with economy and economic factors, but there are a number of factors that play into that, and a lot of those have to do with demographics, and that involves aging population and other things. Next slide. So this chart, I'll explain this to you, is again a national look at specifically community college enrollment, and these are projections. So these are not written in stone, and lots of things we do can impact where we fall on this. But ultimately, this is broken out by sectors of the country, geographic sectors of the country. And if you look back to the second half of 2020, you'll notice that light gray line in the west, which is where we're located, is at the 100 mark. That's sort of the baseline. So if you look at this chart, you can see the star is where we are now, heading into 2024 upcoming at the end of this semester. And we, as in fact, have been on an enrollment increase since 2020. And so what this chart is really saying is that between 2020 and 2026, we can expect in the West community college enrollment to increase overall by about 8 percentage points. But then if you look from 2026 to 2030, you see that it not only decreases back to that baseline of 100, but then goes down to about 92%. So that's a 16-point swing, but we, in effect, would be losing the enrollment gain we get and then losing further. And a lot of that has to do with college-going population ages and other things. And then beyond that, and of course, the further out you get, the less secure the projections are, shows that there's another increase that gets almost back up to the 2020 level before declining again. So the national projections suggest that community college enrollment, while it may have ups and downs, and we're in a recovery period now, that we can't count on that over the next decade. Next slide. So there are lots of opportunities and some challenges, and some of them are both for us. And this information here applies both locally as well as regionally and nationally. But locally, high school enrollment is shrinking, not significantly, but it has been shrinking over time. Marin County is an older population. There are fewer K-12 students. However, there's a real opportunity because over the last number of years, and particularly ramping up recently, the K-12 sector is increasingly looking to community colleges for partnerships. And for us, this means things such as this fall, we have 30 Nevada Unified School District students taking an auto class with us. We have had the same district reach out to expand our Spanish offerings because of their inability to offer those. Compass is a model where we're having increasing interest in expanding that out and really integrating it into the high school experience, our high school Compass program. And I do want to give a shout out here as well, because this summer, Terra Linda High School reached out to us about their Marin School for Environmental Leadership. And they were in a real bind because the program was going through changes and they didn't have a senior capstone experience. And I really want to give kudos to Gina Cullen, Alex Jones, Chelsea Perez, in particular, for stepping up and saying, yes, we can help you with that. And we'll get a counseling class in place. We'll do some things to move this along. And so we're going to see increasing opportunities for us to engage in creative ways with K-12, and that can help us on the enrollment front. Now, at the same time, ethnic diversity in higher education continues to grow, which is a great thing. It also is a sign that our country is continuing to diversify. However, historical and systemic disparities in K-12 outcomes also impact college success rates. And that's something we're all very familiar with because so much of our strategic plan and our efforts and our mission have been directed at recognizing the historical and systemic disparities in both opportunities and outcomes, and then devoting resources to address those disparities. And there are lots of examples, I can't go through all of them, of where we have been devoting significant resource to address those disparities, and it is paying off. Areas where there are disproportionate impact, where there are disparities in outcomes, have been shrinking in some key areas. And the efforts we put, again, with Compass is a good example. The students who participate in our Compass program while in high school have nearly a double A to G completion rate as their peers. We have, over the last decade, implemented so many different learning communities, basic needs support, certainly mental health support. We now have 2 full-time mental health counselors. And kudos to the planning team for the recent Equity and Mental Health Summit. Yashika and Patty and Anissa and Danila and Colleen and Walter and Stormy and all the other folks who made that happen. These are all things that are allowing us to have an impact there and really recognize that we have to change to make sure that we are having equitable outcomes for all of our students. Distance education has surged. It has surged across the country. However, traditionally, learning outcomes are not being met at the same rate in distance ed courses as they are in face-to-face courses. This means that success rates are lower, which means that students, when they go on to the next course, are not being as successful, or they're failing and having to retake courses, which is delaying their graduation and affecting their transcripts. Now, that isn't the case at College of Marin because we've taken a more cautious approach. But that said, what I want to say on this is that over the last number of years, so since Since 4 years ago, we have doubled the number of distance ed offerings we have. Now, that means we went from about 10% or 11% to 21% DE offerings, and we're probably headed to continue that further. And big kudos to Stacy Lentz, Kathleen Smith, and others on that effort. Real quickly, career education. There's real opportunity here, particularly in the healthcare, construction, and related fields. They're in high demand, but they also require us to look at things very differently. Apprenticeship opportunities. We see this through our Golden Gate Transit bus coach operator apprenticeship, Fire Foundry, where we have partnerships with Canal Alliance for construction, for nursing assisted. There are all kinds of opportunities here, but all of those programs work differently than what our traditional academic semester affords us. So we have to think about the impact of that. And finally, our successes do deepen our need to meet these and other challenges. And I say that because every time we graduate more students, we transfer more students, then we have a bigger number we have to get in to maintain flat enrollment. The good news is that in 2023, this last spring, we had a 13% increase in transfers over 2022. We had a 26% increase in certificates awarded, and we kept pace with graduates, even though our enrollment was stagnant over the last year. And so for that, kudos to everyone for all of the good work. Next slide. So all of that is context for this, which is the last slide, and then I'll be done. Our enrollment this fall in credit headcount is trending up over 7% from last year. This is in line with the national trends. Our non-credit headcount, which is made up primarily of, but not exclusively of, English language learners, ESL program, is up over 70%. So this means that we're up nearly 20% overall in enrollment in headcount over last year at this time. This is really good news because the more enrollment we can gain over time, the more we will be positioned to weather what the demographics say are going to be challenging times in the coming years. All of those opportunities I referenced, career education creativity, online education, high school partnerships, wading into ensuring we have equitable outcomes, those are the efforts we can do to ensure that we flatten that decline in the later years while others are struggling with it. So there's a lot of work ahead, but the vast majority of the work happening in our strategic plan is directly related to helping us shore up our efforts around enrollment. And I'm confident that we will continue to see successes and momentum around this if we stay focused on these key areas. So there is your enrollment update for fall semester.
Thank you, Vice President Eldridge. Well done. Well done. Thank you very much. Before I introduce our next speaker, I just want to give a shout out to one of our trustees who's joined us. She's our newest trustee, Crystal Martinez. Crystal, thank you for joining us. I know you're busy during the day. She's one of 7 trustees that we have that are publicly elected that help guide the college. At this time, I'd like to introduce Vice President Greg Nelson. If you've been on our campuses, you've seen that over the last 10 years, we have been transforming both campuses with a lot of construction and renewal. And so Vice President Nelson's here to talk a couple of things about our current construction projects, as well as some of access issues. Take it away, Greg.
All right, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're able to settle in there. Let me give me just 2 seconds. I've got to find the right slide file format. Here we go. So just give you a few updates on some construction and some things that happened over the summer. As Dr. Kuhn mentioned, we were very busy over the summer trying to get a lot of things accomplished for everybody and staff and students especially. So I want to go through a few of those, and then of course we'll answer questions later as needed. The Learner Resource Center, if you haven't been around over the summer, or if you were over the summer, you heard a lot of work going on. We try to accomplish a big chunk of the noise or the noisy work for the LRC site this summer with a lot of drilling and deep soil mixing. A lot more work will be going on. You will actually see starting in October, they will start doing the foundation and start erecting steel in the fall. So there will be a lot of noise impact and so forth, and we're trying to get as much of that notification out as far in advance as possible for all involved. I will just want to take a moment to mention for this project site, there is some negative impacts as it relates to people coming to campus, whether you're trying to get to class or you're trying to get to work or trying to get to some other location in and around the community. the LRC, with the number of trucks and deliveries and so forth that we have for this job site, in conjunction with the other work that's being done around the county, doing the work on the Cordova Creek, the work that's happening in the medians in the center of Sir Francis Drake here next to the college, etc. I strongly encourage students, now that school is starting back for the K-12 system around us this week, that you allow yourself ample time to get to class or to wherever you're going in the local area, because there will be traffic impacts as we have to close the road temporarily to let trucks in and out of the site. So it does create a little bit of a bottleneck as well. And we start at 7 in the morning. So we start at 7 a.m. and go to about 3:30 in the afternoon. So just keep that in mind as you're going about your day and trying to plan your day for coming to class and so forth. The Bolinas Field Station, and we had our kickoff, our groundbreaking ceremony on July 31st. A very well attended. I think we had about 80 to 100 people who showed up for that groundbreaking in Bolinas. We had our kickoff meeting with our contractor last week, and so that we're getting that. Excuse me, that started very successfully. That's about a 1-year duration of a project. So we're hoping about summer of next year, we're having our grand opening of that facility for the fall semester. So be looking for updates as that goes online, and those updates happen along the way. The Fire Foundry project, this picture is just a rendering that we share with the board. But the Fire Foundry project is a project that is a collective of a lot of different organizations to help with wildland firefighting training in conjunction with us, Marin County Fire, the state, the UC Extension, and so forth. The architect was approved by the board, and we had our first kickoff meeting for that project starting yesterday. This project will be housed at the Indian Valley campus and will be located, the housing component of this facility will be housed at the old Building 17. That's next to the Miwok Aquatic Center. And then this will be a new training facility that's down below the old pool site for their area, for their trucks and so forth, and for their training regiment. So we're looking forward to working with the County of Marin and Chief Weber. And special thanks to all the staff and faculty who worked on this. Some students may be in the audience who are actually part of this program. And so that cohort of students is growing, and we appreciate that. This is a great need that we have for Northern California. So this is going to be a great project going forward. Some summer projects we did over the summer, just to give you a kind of a really quick short list. We did a lot of flooring changes in the academic center. All the classrooms got new carpet. All the teaching walls were repainted. All the doors were repainted inside and out. We do ask that you try to prevent or try to prohibit yourself from taping things to the doors because it will peel the brand new paint off the doors. So try to keep from taping. I know there's a lot of notifications and stuff that go out. But see if we can prevent that as much as possible. We did a lot of asphalt replacement at the Indian Valley campus. If you've been there, you've seen that work. We added pickleball court lines to the tennis courts in Kenfield. So word got out really quickly. So that's been very popular already with the community. And we're making some updates to site services and student services and so forth. One thing that you probably noticed if you've been by the Kenfield campus, you're sitting in the cafeteria currently in your listening session, is Dee's Place has opened. They are a new vendor that's running a new kitchen. So we've made a lot of updates to the front of the house, brightened it up, added a new menu. You can actually order on your own. She's locally owned. It's fresh food at a much reasonable price. Couple of things to note: they will be open for breakfast starting next week, and they will be open till 6:30 in the evening for those students who are coming in the evenings who have not had a chance to get something to eat yet before they go to class. They will be offering to hire students who want to work a couple hours here and there so they can help work in between your classes if you so desire. And so just if you have a chance, stop by, say hello, partake in Dee's Place, and I think you'll be surprised at the quality that you'll get there. And then lastly, I just want to mention we had 2 weeks from this Friday, we have our annual fundraiser for the college. It's an important fundraiser we have every year. This year we're featuring Blood, Sweat, and Tears as a dinner concert. And the fundraising this year goes to support our undocumented students and our undocumented student programs. So that will be a great incentive for us to build more rapport with the local community and try to bring that fundraising dollars up. Dr. Kuhn will be there, and several of us will be there as well. That'll be a good event, and we look forward to spearheading some projects from those funds to help those students in need as well. And Dr. Kuhn, I'll turn it back over to you.
Hey, Greg, thank you very much. But before you leave, let me just ask you this. So on the Learning Resources Center, remind us how big that building is going to be and what the budget is on that.
Yeah, so the building is about 67,000 square feet. It's 3 stories tall. And it's going to be, all in all, by the time all costs wrapped in together, it's about $115 million as part of our Measure B bond program.
Terrific. And that's the last major project in Measure B. And I know that a week from now during community hour, we're actually going to do a groundbreaking. You want to talk about that?
Yes, sir. On August 30th, that's actually next Wednesday.
Week from today.
Wow, it's got here quick. Yeah, so outside it's right next to the academic center, inside the fence there, we'll open that up. We will have a groundbreaking ceremony at 12:40. It'll be open to all students for the LRC site. And so we'll do a little dedication, what the project's gonna be about, et cetera. We'll have some light refreshments. And but it is open to everybody. So to come join us at 12:40 next Wednesday, right outside the academic center. We'll have some ushers there to help get you in the right spot, et cetera. And we look forward to that. And then by coming inside the fence, if you will, you can kind of see down in the hole that they're working on. So it's kind of amazing when you just see how much work has been done so far.
Absolutely. And there's some great renderings of the project and the fences around it. So look forward to seeing everybody there next week. Hey, thank you very much, Greg. Appreciate it. So some of you may know that after being in higher education for 30 years and close to 18 and a half as a president, that I have decided to retire. And I'll be retiring in December of this year. And so there's been some questions about what the process looks like to recruit my replacement. So I want to invite Executive Director Nikki Nakota Harris to give us a brief update on that process.
Thank you, Dr. Kuhn. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to fall semester. Just a quick update on where we are with the CEO search. Actually, Human Resources started the process back in February of 2023. And we're at a position now where we're on track with the timeline. In June of 2023, the Board of Trustees approved the position to be posted. And the committee has met over 3 times over the summer to develop interview questions, criteria, and so forth to ensure that they forward the Board of Trustees candidates that can impact and continue the mission here at the College of Marin. We are currently on track. And when I say on track, that means, and I will plan on dropping the timeline in this group chat when I'm done. We're on track because the committee is now at a point where they're about to start conducting interviews of the candidates, and that will be happening the week of September 5th through the 8th. Also, I want to just throw out there for the campus community to be on the lookout for the candidate forums that's going to be coming up. That is going to be the week of September 25th through October 3rd. So as much participation we can get from our campus community, students, faculty, and staff, we welcome to get feedback and also participate in the forums. And other than that, we are trucking along. The committee, of course, is made up of faculty, staff, students, and community members. And they've been working really, really hard to stay on track and move the board tasks along that they have been assigned. So once again, just keep on the lookout for communications from my department around the candidate forums that will be happening on campus late September.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to move on to a special project exhibit update by 2 of all of our favorite people, of course, Dave Patterson and Sarah Fry out of our library here on the Kentfield campus. And so I'm going to turn it over to them to talk about the Emory Douglas exhibit.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kuhn. We're just going to pull up some slides really quickly. All right. Well, we're excited to invite all of you to meet artist Emory Douglas. Mr. Douglas is coming to College of Marin this October. He's an artist committed to revolutionary change, not just for African Americans, but for people around the world.
This exhibit honors Emory Douglas's lifelong commitment to resistance, self-determination, and Black liberation. As the former Minister of Culture for the Black Panther Party, his graphic images in the Black Panther newspaper were a clarion call to oppressed and colonized peoples throughout the world. Over the last 60 years, his designs have continued to spark resistance, self-determination, and Black liberation.
The exhibit will feature his powerful artwork. It will be on display in the Fine Arts Gallery, which you can see on the slide there, hopefully, from October 2nd through October 27th. The gallery, which is in front of the Performing Arts Building, is open from noon to 5, Monday through Friday.
Join us for 3 chances to meet Mr. Douglas, first at the beginning of October, then in the middle, and finally at the end of October. He'll be signing copies of his book on Thursday, October 5th in the evening in the Fine Arts Gallery for the opening reception. You don't have to buy a book, just come, look at his beautiful art, have something to eat, and enjoy the music. By the way, all of these things are free. There will be a masterclass with Emory Douglas, sponsored by the art department and Umoja. A masterclass is usually about 60 to 90 minutes where a master artist encourages the artwork of other artists. How often do you get a chance to learn from a master artist like this? So stay tuned for details. Then on Thursday, October 26th, again in the evening, he'll come back again to College of Marin to give a talk about his work in the James Dunn Theater. That's the main theater, again in this building. Come ready to celebrate. Umoja will provide the music, poetry, food, and you bring your appreciation for a brilliant artist and his 60 years of revolutionary art.
The next slide here.
Oops.
Copies of his books are going to be available to check out in the library. Let's see, I'm trying to get to the, there we are, the next slide. Here you can see a cover of his latest book that he'll be signing on October 5th. We also have a number of online books buying about him that are available on the library's website. In one of these books, Emory Douglas explained his thinking about revolutionary art, which he originally wrote in 1968.
And I'd like to share that because it's a beautiful quote. We must recognize that revolutionary art is an art that flows from the people. It must be a whole and living part of the people's lives, their daily struggle to survive. The ghetto itself is the gallery for the revolutionary artist's drawings. His work is pasted on the walls of the ghetto, in storefront windows, fences, doorways, telephone poles, and the liquor stores of the ghetto. This way, the revolutionary artist educates the people as they go through their daily routine, from day to day, week to week, month to month. This way, the revolutionary artist cuts through the smoke screens of the oppressor and creates brand new images of revolutionary action for the total community.
And this is from 1969. Note the message of global solidarity. Afro-American solidarity with the oppressed people of the world. All power to the people. Ashe.
Ashe. We're grateful to Professor Turner for teaching us new words such as ashe. Ashe is a Yoruba word meaning power, command, and authority. It is the ability to make whatever one says happen, and is often summarized as, it definitely shall be so. Ashe.
Here's a cover of the Black Panther newspaper from 1970 featuring Emory Douglas's art. Again, note the message of regional and global solidarity. One of our main purposes is to unify our brothers and sisters in the North with our brothers and sisters in the South. And here's another beautiful image, this one from 1971 with the words, quote, "We're going to keep on struggling for brighter days. We're going to keep on struggling until we win your love." On the woman's tambourine, you see practical suggestions that involve money, such as boycotting racist businesses, supporting Black-owned businesses, and contributing to the community's food programs with small donations.
And here's a beautiful piece of art from 2017. Educate to liberate, flying high above us all. What better message can Mr. Douglas give us? Did you notice the Black Panther shoulder patch? Join us to celebrate the Black Panthers, Black liberation, global solidarity, and Emory Douglas's insistence on freedom for everyone, including people around the world, and freedom for every student at College of Marin.
Emory Douglas continues to create revolutionary art. Here is Breonna Taylor, Say Her Name. In the face of 404 years of racial violence against African Americans, Emory Douglas continues to use art to demand radical change. When you join us, you too will be raising your voice for this demand.
This event is brought to College of Marin by Umoja,
Other sponsors include
the Fine Arts Gallery,
the Fine Arts Department,
the Arts and Humanities Department,
the Communication Department, and
the library.
if you were here last year, you might remember all the events that Emoja, the library, professors, and students did related to the 1619 project. You could think of this exhibit and these events as continuations of that wonderful work. Join us to think about the role of art in bringing together people to fight oppression. By the way, Emory Douglas got a lot of his training as an artist from a community college, City College of San Francisco to be precise. Maybe the next Emory Douglases of this generation are here at College of Marin. Maybe the next Emory Douglases are here right now in this town hall meeting. Who among us will use your art to lead us towards a more just society? Lead us with your art during these tough times, just as Emory Douglas used his to lead people back in the 1960s and 70s in the United States and throughout his life all over the world.
So remember, the book signing is on Thursday, October 5th.
The final event is Thursday, October 26th.
And the event is available to view Monday through Friday from noon to 5 for the whole month of October. See you there.
Wow. David and Sarah, thank you very much. As always, you never disappoint. And I want to say that the groups that they mentioned, when they get together, the work is powerful. I encourage you to participate, to attend. That it's just an amazing opportunity. So especially if you're new to the community, I encourage you to really attend and participate. So a lot of other activities coming up as well. And here to tell you about some of the opening week activities is Ryan Barbosa, your ASCOM president. Ryan.
Hey guys, let me just get my screen shared right here. Dear students, staff, and community, my name is Ryan Barbosa, and I'm delighted to announce that I was elected to serve as the president of the Associated Students of College of Marin for the 2023-24 academic year. ASCOM advocates for student voices to be heard by the college, community, and administration, ensuring the protection of our students' rights and interests. We strive to cultivate a campus that embraces diversity, fosters academic growth, and amplifies the collective voice of students. Each year, a group of 10 students is either elected or appointed for board positions. The ASCOM board meets weekly on Fridays this semester from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. to discuss many items such as budget allocations, project proposals, development of programs for students, and ways we can continue supporting the student body. As of August 23rd, 2023, I am pleased to announce your new ASCOM board for the 2023-24 academic year. I, Ryan Barbosa, will serve as your president, Gabriel Bar-Or as your vice president, Sarah Reynoso as your secretary, Sadie Reyes as your student trustee, Chiamo Shabalala and Tino Mares as your senators for student activities and services, Fatima Nakuda and Jessica De Leon as your senators for PR and marketing, and Aliyah Bassa as your senator of technology. We currently have a vacancy for the representative student senate for the California community colleges. For those who are interested, we encourage you to apply today by reaching out to us via our email, ascomboard@gmail.com, or stopping by our office at the Student Services Building, 2nd floor, room 247. Our main goal for the fall semester is to increase ASCOM's visibility within our campus by creating program opportunities for students to stay engaged and network amongst themselves. Each semester, ASCOM hosts a series of events that are catered to promote student activities, engagement, and resources. During this semester, we will be hosting approximately 2 events per month. We will kick off the year of events with our annual Welcome Week event starting on Monday, August 28th, in partnership with Student Activities and Advocacy. We'll be at the Academic Center during community hours from 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. with snacks, giveaways, and fun activities. Here's a calendar of events for this fall semester. On August 28th, we'll be hosting the Comcella during community hours from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m., as well as the Welcome Week from August 28th through August 31st. During September, we'll be hosting our annual Club Fest, as well as our Constitution Day from September 11th through September 12th. And I would also like to give a special highlight to one of these events on the list. Our goal at ASCOM is to see students get involved with programs and meet new people. And that is why Club Fest is an opportunity for students to enroll in new clubs, engage in activities, and meet new people. If you're interested in joining a club, please attend Club Fest on September 11th and September 12th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Academic Center. We'll be having a festival that is catered to help you find a club of your interest. We'll be providing food and goodie bags. We really look forward to seeing you all there. Last but not least, we, the Associated Students of College of Marin, would like to extend our gratitude on behalf of the student body to Dr. Kuhn. Dr. Kuhn, we sincerely appreciate your support and leadership with our community and for regularly showing up and hanging out with students during our events. We wish you a phenomenal semester prior to your departure from the college in December. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I appreciate that. That was certainly a surprise. I want to just, Ryan is a tremendous student leader. He was our student trustee last year. I want to encourage everybody to back him, get behind our student government. I want to say to all the students, get involved, get involved in the clubs so you can meet new people, get involved in the clubs so you can add some things to your, application for transfer. There's lots of reasons to get involved. Most of it's to be a part of the community, right? So I encourage you to do that. And in the last couple of years, the ASCOM has put on some amazing events. You'll hear the music, you'll hear it's just amazing. It's usually out in the quad at the Academic Center. So we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. Okay, so we had some questions that were submitted. We're going to go through those. There was about 4 of them, and then we'll see if there's any other questions in the box. So first of all, there was one question that says, "What is the plan for the empty lot next to 941 Sir Francis Drake Boulevard?" That's next to where the reprographics is at. It's actually 937 and 939 to be exact. But let me ask Vice President Nelson to ask that. So basically, what's the plan and what kind of building is going in that space?
Sure. The building space that's going to be right. Let me back up. The lot that you're referring to was 2 different parcels, and we're currently merging those. We're currently the planning process with the county, Marin County, for a faculty and staff housing project. That is currently just in the planning stages. We do not currently have the funding stream as of this time to build the project, but we are still finalizing that with the county. We probably have about another 6 or 8 months to finalize that process with the county before we can get the plans finalized. And then we will start engaging with our board of trustees on potential funding streams for that project. But it will be a faculty and housing project of about 13 to 18 units to possibly house faculty and staff here at the college.
And there's some beautiful renderings that we could make available for people to have a look at too, right?
That's correct. We've made presentations to the board already about what it would possibly look like, and we're happy to share those as well.
Terrific. Thank you very much. So changing gears, this next question relates to the Reading Writing Learning Center. And basically the question relates to under the current plan for the Learning Resources Center that it would be halved in size based on the architectural drawing. And so the question relates to where is the space going to be coming from and how are students going to be catered to? And I want to refer to Vice President Eldridge here because he's been involved with all the faculty and staff in planning this building from the get-go. So Jonathan.
And thank you. So I don't have in front of me the architectural drawings to show, but I'm certainly happy at a future date to pull those out and go through them in detail. The 3rd floor of the Learning Resource Center is designed as a space for students to have a variety of opportunities to interact with a variety of services and offices and opportunities. ranging from counseling, whose offices are up in there. There's some open space, ASCOM, learning communities, as well as our tutoring and reading and writing centers. The building is designed so that there's a very large open area in the middle of all of those services, so that any one or more of those areas, when there is demand, can utilize the open area and expand its reach, and also be available for students who might otherwise not go into a space to seek services, but to be able to become aware of and engage in those services. So the idea is that while there's a certain amount of space contained for all of these things, they all have access to a significantly increased amount of space just outside of their door, where students can be engaged in a variety of things as the time demands. So instead of devoting space that is open for certain hours and then closed and not used for anything else, we're able to provide space for everyone in that model and create open space that can be used from early in the morning till late at night, as those different operations have different operating hours and different needs of expansion and contraction.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Changing gears again. The question is, or the statement is, or no, actually this question, wouldn't it be good to establish a scholarship fund for Native American students to come to the College of Marin? Well, hey, I'm really pleased to report that we do have a significant fund for Native American students that unfortunately goes unawarded most years. Recently, we've been able to award that. So if you have some ideas about how you think we might be able to better have outreach to our Native American students, I would encourage you to contact Keith Rosenthal, who's our Director of Advancement, and his office is in the Academic Center, second floor. We would love to know more about how we can make better connections with our Native American students so that we can actually award those scholarships. Okay, Jesse or Mickey, do we have questions in the chat box?
Hi, Dr. Kuhn. It seems like it was answered, but any clarification would be fine. It has to do with, will Dee's Place be open for Saturday students? So the
I'm going to refer to Greg for that.
Yeah, so right now, not at this time. Since you just started literally Monday, I think we need to get off the ground first and get things going. These places are currently open about 55 hours of the week, Monday through Friday. So she's open from 7 in the morning till 6:30 at night, Monday through Friday. And so that's something that's a big benefit. That's probably 3 times longer than we had before. We will revisit the issue of Saturday. The main thing is we just have to have enough demand to have staff and so forth to work on Saturdays. But that is something we can review here in a few weeks based on what we have for demand. If you have suggestions and so forth, you can certainly reach out to me, and I will work with the staff in Dee's Place and see what's available to us.
And so let me just anticipate the next question in relation to that would be, what about Indian Valley? And we are looking at some creative ways and working with our new provider, Dee, and providing some opportunities there as well. So more to come on that as well. Right. Okay, other questions?
That's the only one we see. Others included some links to different resources that were mentioned.
Terrific. There was one question that was posed to me. Are you planning to retire? And if so, of course, we know I already said that. How will you spend your time? If you're not retiring, what's your next adventure? Well, I'm certainly retiring from this position. I won't be holding another permanent position in higher education. I will not be far from higher ed in some capacity, maybe doing some executive coaching or some consulting of that nature. Or, maybe the ideas come up, maybe I should just enroll at the College of Marin and as a student, and then run for the student trustee position. But that's an idea too. I'll consider that, or not. Okay, any other questions?
Let me see here. When will the parking lot on the far side of the SMN building reopen?
Okay, that's a Vice President Nelson question. Trying to think, far side of SMN. I'm assuming you're referring to the parking lot at the end of Laurel Avenue. That is currently under construction with the County of Marin doing the creek work. They're putting a generator in the ground, a pump generator and so forth. We do not have any other parking lots right now on Laurel Avenue that are closed, other than the small area that's closed for the county of Marin doing the work on the creek. The other parking lot that's currently closed is lot 15. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, lot 15, that is the laydown area and where they're holding all their supplies for the LRC project. So that lot 15 will be closed until the fall or early spring of 2026. So that will stay closed. When we looked at closing that parking lot, we looked at it in the spring semester. We watched that parking lot for a period of about 3 weeks at the beginning of spring semester, and we only averaged about 10 cars in that parking lot. So that was the least impactful area for us to have a laydown area for the construction company.
Terrific, thank you. Other questions, Jesse?
Yes, this one, will the recording of this meeting be available?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This one, how would you like people to say goodbye to you, Dr. Kuhn, besides recording a video message, which was announced at the convocation last week?
Okay, here's my thought on that. You know, on January 3rd, I'm going to wake up for the first time in nearly 40 years without a title. And it's been a lot of different things over the years. And you all have been so kind to me over the years and addressing me as Dr. Kuhn, President Kuhn. Here's my invitation. Help me make the transition. And between now and then, I'm inviting everybody to just call me David, okay? Just address me as David. That'll help me get to that point where when I wake up on January 3rd, I'm okay. Does that sound good? Any other questions?
Someone just replied, "Hi, David." So we're listening, Dr.
That's a
Kuhn.
good start.
Those are the only ones we see.
Okay. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. We appreciate it so much. I know it's the first week of the semester, so there's a lot going on. Students, reach out, let us know how we can be of support to you. Employees, reach out and let us know how we can just be of support to you as well. Let's have a great semester, and we look forward to seeing you. Invite you back next week for the groundbreaking at the LRC. Thanks, everybody.